like to, I've got loads more questions, so there's no problem with that, but I just want to give somebody else an opportunity, if anyone else would like to ask anything right now. Can we go back to the other thing? You're talking about the 360s of representation.
Yeah.
Is this kind of like the new agent style, do you think? Or do you think increasingly more agencies will do this?
Yeah, I think a lot. I mean, you see it more with the bigger agencies where they have different departments. But what we're doing, we're not doing kind of, because a lot of literary agencies do have a film and TV department representing script writers, and that's not what we're doing. We don't represent any script writers. But so it's kind of like we're a literary agency and a talent agency probably. But the thing that we say is that we don't represent anybody for talent, although we have clients that we haven't sold a book for or haven't written a book. We don't represent anyone that couldn't write a book. So the presenters that we represent that haven't done books, kind of architects or specialists in, or mathematicians or scientists or designers, or people who are experts in their field but maybe haven't had the right idea for a book. Chefs as well, we have some of those in the book. And it all came out of the chef thing. And then once we started getting a reputation for that, and we've got relationships with lots of production companies and channels, and a lot of the people that have come to us for that sort of representation have actually come through the channel when they've not been represented, because channels and production companies prefer to work with people that are represented, and they've said, why don't you go to Green Heaton? And maybe that's because it's a different style of talent representation to a talent agency, where they're probably a bit more hard-nosed and us, polite book folk. So yeah, I think that, and increasingly I think it's going to be like that. I mean, I have seen lots of agencies. I know of an agency in London who just employed a person just to do social networking for them and their clients. And increasingly, we're encouraging people to start Twitter accounts, to build their online presence, to write short stories and get on Wattpad and get on all of these other things, so that you can, so that when we submit, we can show how serious the writer is about their writing, I think.
So that it hasn't passed, the sort of publisher's interest in what they're doing social media-wise hasn't passed?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Did you remember when websites first came about, all you had to say at an acquisitions meeting is, they've got a website, and everyone would get really excited.
Yeah.
And I remember a few of us didn't quite catch when it sort of reached a tipping point. We'd go, they've got a website, and everyone would go, so what?
I think the thing now is that they have to be doing something with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, particularly for non-fiction, it's really, really important, I think, to have a good online presence. And particularly if you're writing in an area in which if you're just writing on one area, so then it's useful if you've done blog posts on that subject and that sort of thing. I think particularly if it can be picked up. And now it's quite, it's such a big democracy, the internet, that it's quite easy to get something. Maybe not easy, like I couldn't do it, but if you were an expert in your field, you could get something on the Guardian blogs or something, and all of a sudden you can get 250,000 hits on something, and that that makes the publisher take notice of you. Similar, I think, with these big writing communities online. And actually, another thing that I think agents will increasingly start to do is have clients maybe put up a first chapter on Wattpad and see what the response is like. I know that we've done that in a couple of instances, just to see what sort of feedback there is, particularly if we don't really, if maybe it's a new area where people are unsure of the market, you can go and test it out on these people, and I think that's quite a useful tool. Maybe not so much for telling publishers, but certainly in the writing process it's useful for the author.
Would you encourage people who are pre-submission to try something like that? Pre-submission?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it depends how far. Yeah, I think. I mean, any feedback is beneficial, I think. So,
Isn't there a problem about that? Sometimes, for instance, your extract that you would put up online might be quite substantive.
Yeah.
There would become an issue, wouldn't there? That perhaps
This is
it's
already
published.
published. Yes, I suppose, but because it's already out there, but you can take them down.
Yeah, but it's already the act has already taken place.
Yeah, I mean it's already.
And it's already in the public domain.
Yeah, but lots of self-published books have been bought by publishers. You know.
Yes, but I mean for people who don't want to self-publish, I thought there was a sort of the jury was still out, as it were, on whether it's a good idea to put up what you consider to be part of your published to be book by conventional process, and whether that extract would be considered a published book having gone online.
I don't think. I think if the publisher wanted the book enough, they'd buy it anyway. We've got an author called Kerry Wilkinson, who was the biggest Kindle seller in 2000. I think for last year, or maybe in 2011, he sold something like 300,000 copies of his books, self-published, the 3 books. And Macmillan have now bought those 3 books, even though he'd already sold, even though 300,000 people already had them. Macmillan have taken over those 3 books and are publishing them, and have bought another 12 books from him. They have 15 of his books under contract.
Of fiction?
Yeah, of fiction. It's quite amazing. There's Penguin have just published another one. Someone called James Oswald, who was another self-published guy who sold over 100,000 copies. So I think increasingly publishers are actually using online as well, the internet, as to get a steer on what is popular.
Yeah, I understand Macmillan's quite big in that area
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Aren't they behind Amanda Hocking as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they've got this guy Kerry Wilkinson.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, and certainly agents are doing it. You know, we're trawling the Kindle bestseller lists, all of the category lists to see what's popular and self-published.
Well, there have been instances where people have made material available weekly, free to their mailing list, and still we put it together and sell it. People still buy it. I mean, I don't want to go trawl through and look for the free article every week. I'd rather have it in a hard copy myself.
Yeah, lots of non-fiction that's basically a bind-up of blogs. Gets published.
Do people still get away with that, do they?
Yeah, although I think it's difficult because you know there's all sorts of permissions, things that you need to clear. A lot of the time, those blogs reference all sorts of other people. There's that great blog, Letters of Note.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That I know that publishers have tried to do a book to put a book together about it. It's impossible.
They're
to
good.
clear.
Those letters.
Yeah, they are really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of impossible to clear all permissions, so they just can't do it.
Yeah.